I'm artist Lillian Gray, and this series is all about visual diaries.
First things first, what is a visual diary? A visual diary is a tool to develop and create your own artist's voice and style. Sometimes a visual diary is also called a visual journal or a visual portfolio. It all depends on where you are studying visual art. Visual diaries are used by most creative disciplines: graphic designers, industrial designers, architects, fashion designers, interior decorators. All use them to develop their own style. Visual diaries are even utilized by some scientists and inventors. Often, when teaching art, I am asked by my students, Lillian, how do I develop my own artist's voice? How do I stop just copying other artists on Pinterest? The first step that I always recommend to these students is to start a visual diary. But first, let's understand, what is a visual diary? As artists, we have various ways of storing and presenting art. We have a sketchbook, an archive, a portfolio, and a visual diary. It is important to understand the difference between these four. A sketchbook is all about having a mini little art studio with you at all times, so you can stop, draw, and observe wherever you are. It's mainly about continuous practice and developing your skills and craftsmanship as an artist. An archive is where you store all your sketches and drawings, even those drawings that your mom used to stick on the fridge when she was so proud of you as a toddler. It's great to keep all your sketches so that you can go back in time to see how much you have grown as an artist. It's extremely rewarding. Your portfolio only includes the best of the best. I often tell my students to update their portfolios. If they have done a recent pencil sketch that's even better than the previous one, replace the old pencil sketch with a better one so that your portfolio is always up to date with your greatest work. Your portfolio is your bragging rights as an artist. A vital skill you need to learn as a creator is to present your art. Usually, a portfolio is your showcase of your best work to be hired as a creative. A visual diary is about recording your idea creation. Think of it as your artist's mind on paper. It's asking questions like, who are you as an artist? A visual diary includes your brainstorming, your artist research, your medium exploration, your compositional sketches, your rationale, as well as your references for your artwork. It is important that you know the difference between a visual diary and a sketchbook. This can be very confusing, and often there are similarities between the sketchbook and a visual diary. However, there is a clear difference. The most important difference is that a visual diary is a means to an end. It has a clear goal, looking towards developing a body of work for an art exhibition. A sketchbook is usually used for continuous practice. Often, some of the sketches I make in my sketchbook, I rip out and move over to my visual diary to connect with a specific idea or concept that I am developing. A sketchbook is often unrelated, separate tasks, but a visual diary are actions performed deliberately, consecutively, as part of the coherent, comprehensive project. In your visual diary, you will document all the steps of your creative process, leading up to the presentation of your exhibition. It shows that you are fluent in the ability to generate various ideas and possibilities, and not just one final idea. It helps you to review and develop your own visual language. Even though your visual diary has clear intent, remember to be flexible. Your ideas may have changed over time and are different from your initial intentions, plans, and goals. What does a visual diary look like? It usually looks like madness. However, it is organized chaos. It does have structure. In this series, I will cover the usual structure required by academic institutions for visual diaries. First, let's look at the actual book creatives tend to use when making a visual diary. I usually recommend a ring-bound A3 book. Ring-bound because it allows you to glue a lot of things into your book without breaking the spine. A3 because it's easy to carry. I often find that an A2 is too big and an A4 is too limiting. Depending on where you are studying your creative discipline, they will often give you rules and regulations about what kind of book you need to use for your visual diary. When deciding on the type of paper for your visual diary, make sure that it is paper that will hold various mediums, especially watercolors. You don't want to end up with your diary wobbly and warping. Also use various types of papers, bind them together into a new book. What also works well is to take an old physical book and reappropriate the pages, painting directly onto the written text. Now you should be able to explain the difference between a sketchbook and a visual diary and understand the role of the archive and the portfolio. In our next video, I am going to delve deeper into why we need visual diaries.
I'm artist Lillian Gray. I hope you really enjoyed this video. Please remember to like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out, and meet us over on social media. Until next time.